All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Of course, as we always tell you, restored motions. Book a session with Crystal Poche. You will be glad you did. If you got pain, she'll take you out of it. And ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. All right, y'all, how about it? Who dat? Saints are 2-0. They win on Monday Night Football 20-17. Let's turn the fan on real quick. Got in a good rhythm now, y'all. Getting up and going to work out at 5:30 and getting home, shower and all, but I'm still, body temp's a little elevated, so I need the fan on in here, keep things a little cooler. So anyway, Saints win, move to 2-0. Say it every time you win. You never apologize for how you win in the NFL. It is too dang hard. Style points don't matter a lick. All that matters, you get to the end of the season and you look at where you are in the standings, and you know you're going to have 7 teams from each conference make the playoffs, and you know, you hope you're a division champion. You get to play as many games at home as possible. And so to be 2-0, to get a division win, to keep pace with the Falcons and Bucks, also at 2-0, is a good start for the Saints. And you're 2-0 despite not playing your best football. Yes, I, like many of you, am concerned that the offense is scuffling. You score 16 points at home against Tennessee and just 20 points on the road against Carolina. Your offensive line is right now atrocious in pass protection. There's no other way to say it. You know, we looked at yesterday, and the keys, it was, hey, keep Derek Carr upright, because if you keep Derek Carr upright, your receivers have a huge advantage over their secondary, but you got to give Carr time to throw. Well, 4 sacks, 5 TFLs, 2 passes defended, 7 quarterback hits. Derek Carr was under duress all night. The interception he threw, there's no excuse for it. He hurled the ball into triple coverage, terrible decision. And he also missed an open Chris Olave breaking on an out route on the left sideline that would have put the Saints in field goal range in the second half, and he just made an awful throw. So Carr isn't without blame in this game. He was far from perfect, but you did get the win. You know, he let Rashid Shaheed go make a play on a ball late in the game, which he did. The one-handed catch by Chris Olave is the one that really broke through for the Saints offensively when they were stagnant. Carr put one up there, and his receiver, who was well covered, kind of tipped the ball back to himself and made a great catch. So that was great to see. Jamal Williams goes down with injury. You took a chance going into this game with only 2 active running backs, with Jamal Williams and Tony Jones Jr. And Jamal Williams went down with a hamstring injury, which forced Tony Jones and Taysom Hill into a larger role. Tony Jones has 12 carries for just 34 yards, but he did score twice. And boy, he had some strong runs, didn't he? Especially late. And then Taysom, 9 carries for 75. He averaged 8.3 a carry. I love that. Give me more of Taysom Hill. But here's the thing that is the positive. As bad as your pass protection has been, your offensive line was really good run blocking against a defensive front that has studs on it. Derek Brown, Shy Tuttle, who we got to know here, and he created some problems for the Saints yesterday. Brian Burns, who left the game late, I'm sure y'all saw, but they were active. Frankie Louvu had 2 sacks in the game. And that was an active defensive front, and when it came down to just hand in dirt, move bodies, and run the ball, the Saints were able to do that. And that's good to rely on, because if you can run the ball and play defense, you control the line of scrimmage, you can still win at any level of football. Because if you can line up and everybody knows you're running it and you're still getting 3, 4, 5 yards a pop, no matter what level of football, that plays. So Saints get a win. How about Blake Groupie? 2 games, has yet to miss a kick. I mean, you won a game 16-15 and 20-17, and your rookie was 2 of 2 on field goals, and he was perfect on PATs. So, yes, that was great to see. It looks like the Saints made a really good decision there with Blake Groupie. So, anyway, all right, let's say some good morning, y'all. See what y'all got. Appreciate y'all for being here as always. If you're on YouTube, please smash that like button, subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page and share the post. We appreciate y'all as always for being here. Hey, Trey Potan, Kelly Gross, Craig Dubga. I drank your black and gold brand of Weller for the game. You can thank me for the dub. That would be Weller 12, which is the black and gold label. And he happens to know that that's my favorite. So I think that was just a little jab right there. Trey Fisher, good morning. Charlie Cavell, Patrick Berglass. Olave is amazing. Defense was lit last night. Y'all, to illustrate how good the Saints defense was, Carolina finished the game with 239 yards of total offense. 75 of those yards came on the scoring drive with 2 minutes left when the Saints were up 11 and went to like straight zone concepts and were giving the Panthers soft coverage. They went right down the field. So really it was about 170 yards of offense they gave up before that last drive. It's incredible. Brian Brzee had a massive play, really disruptive play on the interior. Cam Jordan, Carl Granderson looked great. Tano Passanio, I thought Nathan Shepard played a really good game yesterday. Your additions on the interior of Nathan Shepard and Colin Saunders look really good. Saunders had 4 tackles last night. Shepard had 2, but he had a sack, a TFL, 2 quarterback hits. He was all over the Granderson. Had a sack, a TFL, 2 quarterback hits. They were off and popping. I thought Demario Davis and Pete Werner were awesome yesterday. Each had 7 tackles. Pete Werner was flying around, assignment sound. They looked good, man. Looked really good yesterday. Defense looked awesome. Ryan DeLon, good morning. Would you agree the biggest concern for the Saints is the offensive line? Absolutely. It's pass protection. And the most disappointing part of that too, Ryan, is what the Saints have invested in that unit to be great. You're starting left tackle as a first-round pick. You're starting right tackle as a first-round pick. You're starting right guard as a first-round pick. You're starting center as a second-round pick, but was a top 50 pick. He was your first pick of the draft that year. Your left guard is Hurst, but he replaced a first-round pick in Andrus Peat. So, considering the draft capital you have invested in your offensive line to get that type of production is, it's disappointing. You hope, and look, the one play in particular that stands out, they left Adam Prentice, the fullback, into pass block, and he helped on the right edge with Ramczyk. And that left Cesar Ruiz one-on-one with the linebacker who just bull rushed Ruiz and killed Derek Carr. I'm like, you are a first-round pick, starting offensive lineman. You just got bum rushed by a linebacker. Come on, man. He didn't even put like a move on you. He just ran you over. Brutal. Let's see. Weston Weaver. Morning, Matt. Curious what you thought of Denver Harris playing Saturday. Couldn't really tell if he did good or bad. Look, Weston, it's hard to play with anything about LSU's defense on Saturday. State couldn't move the ball. And I'll tell you maybe the most encouraging thing was, and look, Will Rogers was under a lot of pressure, but when LSU went zone, there were no blown coverages, at least not that I saw. I will talk to I'll talk to Gordy today and ask him, because Gordy does a Gordy Rush every Tuesday, does a thing he calls Tiger War Room, and it's for clients. It's down at the City Club and all that stuff. But anyway, he gets access to the game film, the all 22, the coach's cut, and he'll break down a few plays. So I'll ask him, and Gordy of course played safety, so he understands DB play. So I can ask him point blank his thoughts on how Denver Harris did, and I'll let you know. Again, that's not breaking down the film, isn't the thing that I necessarily do, but I'll ask. Ryan DeLon, pretty crazy. It's been 2013 since the Saints started 2-0. Went to the playoffs that year. That was Sean Payton's first year back from the from Bounty Gate, and they went up to Philly and won a playoff game that year. Morgan Miller, what's up, bro? Good morning. Saints win. Carr was running for his life again and seriously need better O-line protection. And I don't know what you do. I think Penning was better last night than he was game one. Part of that was I thought Foster Moreau played really well, giving help and chipping and staying into pass protect. And Foster was a really good run blocker too. You could see that last night if you're watching him 87. But man, what do you do? You can't go get a whole new offensive line. Jason H. Spurge, good morning. What changes need to be made with the O-line to protect Carr? Spurge, and that's the thing, they did make some changes. Like I just mentioned, they left Adam Prentice in, the fullback, to pass protect. Foster Moreau helped in pass protection. We'll go back and see when a lot of the advanced analytics come out, like how many times they had max protect, how many times they left the running back in, fullback in, tight end in to help, how many times they chip blocked. We'll get all those analytics and everything, but I think that was a change. It was something at least I noticed that was different, and still. Jesse Brown, good morning. Glad to see Hill get more involved. Good win. What do we need at running back now? Is Miller back Sunday? So Kendre Miller was a scratch again, but he was closer to playing, which was good to see. Keep in mind, you play Green Bay this week. It's a short week on the road in Green Bay. And then the following week, you're home against Tampa, and you'll get Alvin Kamara back. So kind of sucks that you're back-to-back road games. After you're playing on Monday night, now you got to travel to play on Sunday. So you play Monday night, you fly home. You'll get treatment today. Generally, Tuesday's an off day in the NFL. So I guess guys will go and get treatment and then start preparation on Wednesday and not really have a full day off. So if you start preparation for Sunday on Wednesday, you Wednesday, Thursday, walk through Friday, you travel Saturday, and you play on Sunday. It's a quick turnaround, especially having just played in Carolina. So it's different if you would have been on a short week, but you'd been at home. But back-to-back road games on a short week is really, really tough. But as far as running back, Kendre Miller, you would think should be good to go. He was limited in practice, and he was kind of a game time decision. They scratched him, but he's clearly getting closer, which is good to see. We'll have to wait and see what the update is on Jamal Williams, the hamstring injury. But if Jamal Williams can't go and Kendre Miller's limited, you can't go into this game week with only Tony Jones Jr. So they'll have to potentially bring in another running back. Remember, they brought in Kareem Hunt, but couldn't reach a deal with him. They had Ellis Merriweather in camp, who was a practice squad guy. It's kind of on again, off again type deal. So they could bring Ellis Merriweather back, which might be their decision, considering his familiarity with the offense if you need him in a pinch. But it's not ideal at running back right now. So can you make it another week with Tony Jones? Well, maybe Kendre Miller's back, and do you sign Ellis Merriweather off the street? And then you got Taysom as well. Is Jamal Williams going to be good to go? Hamstring injury to remove him from the game. It's hard to imagine coming back after a soft tissue injury like that on a short week, but that's a tough call. I would guess Ellis Merriweather or Kareem Hunt. Kind of your options. But do you really want to go invest in Kareem Hunt when you're getting Kamara back next week and you're already invested in Jamal Williams? Matt Plavidal, good morning, Matt. O-line is awful with all those first-round picks. Ramczyk is the one exception. Even Ramczyk gave up a pressure in the sack last night. But yes, they were good run. Again, they did fine run blocking. They were terrible in pass protection. If you look at the rushing totals for New Orleans, even in the second half, where everybody, like, they were very clearly running the ball because they couldn't protect Derek Carr. Saints ran it 33 times for 134 for an average of 4.1. That'll play all day, every day. And, but man, the crazy one was like, when you're winning the game, you got a 3rd and 2. What was that drive? Was it this drive? Yep, here it was. Fourth quarter. It was the drive that ended the third quarter and started the fourth quarter. The Saints were up 13-6. So you're up 7, and you're still in a game here. And you're running the ball, right? You have Tony Jones for 18, or Tony Jones, no gain. This is where Carr hit the deep ball to Olave for 21 yards. I'm sorry, that wasn't the deep ball. That was the ball to the right side that Olave caught for 21 yards and went out of bounds. Incomplete. Taysom Hill ran for 11 yards. So you got 1st and 10 at midfield to start the fourth quarter. Tony Jones for 3 yards. Taysom Hill for 5 yards. So you're running the ball. You got 3rd and 2. They go out of the shotgun, try to pass the ball, and Carr gets sacked for a loss of 7 yards. They got a punt. Touchback, and then they put together a field goal drive to make it 13-9, and that's whenever you answered with the touchdown drive. That was the deep pass to Olave, which no, that was the one where you hit Rashid on the right side for 35 yards, and then Olave. That's where Olave caught the ball, was ruled a touchdown, and they overturned it. And then ultimately Tony Jones would score. Let's see. Yo, smash that like button if you would. Please subscribe up to the channel. Brian Wynn, Chris P, Bailey C, good morning. Patrick Ramos, good morning. Going to see Crystal tomorrow. Hopefully she helped. First time, Patrick? I'm curious. First time going to see Crystal at Restored Motions? Dude, you got to let me know how it goes. I know how it's going to go, but you got to let me know your thoughts afterwards. Brian Wynn, what are your thoughts about the ability of LSU's defense to shut down Arkansas's offense? So Brian, it's a different challenge because KJ Jefferson's a big physical quarterback who can run between the tackles. Very curious to see if Rocket Sanders plays. Rocket Sanders is their running back, really good. Has not played the last 2 weeks. He had swelling in his knee. And they have 3 receivers that can all get it. And it's it's probably their best collective group of receivers since that Ryan Mallett team that went to the Sugar Bowl. So I think Arkansas presents a different kind of test, but they're also a team that's just not very good. Their offensive line has been really bad. They've had some injuries, and so it's caused a little bit of an O-line shuffle, and that's been a problem for them. So they beat Western Carolina 56-13. They beat Kent State 28-6. They'll put 28 against Kent State, and they lost to BYU 38-31. Despite the fact that they almost doubled them in total yardage. Total yardage was Arkansas 424, BYU 281. So, but Arkansas dominated the yardstick and lost by a touchdown. So, Anyway, good offense. They got skill on that offense. They got a real bad offensive line, though. Tim Gautreau, Devin Johnson, Damon Gilmore, Wendell Norman, Josh Higginbotham, good morning. Hope when Kamara comes back, it'll open the offense up. It should, Josh. It should. Brandon Tilley, good morning. Pete Carmichael continues with how poorly this offense is operated. What's your next step? Well, I don't know that you're going to fire Pete Carmichael in the middle of the season. And I think Carmichael and Dennis Allen are in lockstep. I don't think Pete Carmichael's been great. I think they should have used Taysom Hill more in week 1. It's good to see them use Taysom Hill more last night, but that felt like that was out of necessity after the injury to Jamal Williams. And Derek Carr hasn't been great. I mean, that's the offensive line has struggled, but that doesn't absolve Derek Carr from throwing an awful interception into triple coverage and missing a wide open Chris Olave on the left side, which would have put the Saints in field goal range. I mean, Lou Hedley had a brutal punt, which gave Carolina the short field to set up their first points of the game. There's a lot that wasn't great, but you're 2-0. And to play poorly and still be 2-0 is the silver lining. That you can play poorly and still be 2-0, because at the end of the season, they're not going to ask about weak point, about style points. It's not going to be where you rank in the power ratings or anything like that. It's wins and losses. And somebody's going to win the division, go to the playoffs, and have a home game. And you kept pace with Atlanta and Tampa by winning last night. Louis Malhoy, think Carmichael's a weakness. Tell your O-lineman, pick up 2 yards, don't pass, get no points in the fourth quarter drive. Matt Plavidal, like E-Rock says, smash the like button.
Smash that like button.
Jeffrey Giordano, good morning. Cajun Country. Chris Olave was not touched. Glad the ball went out of bounds. Yes. So that was after the deep ball. A beautiful catch by Olave. And I don't even think they talked about it in the broadcast, but he got up and he spiked the ball and it rolled out of bounds. And thankfully it went out of bounds because, yes, he was not touched. There was contact on as he was going up for the ball, obviously came across his arm, but when he gained possession, he was never touched. So, yes, that was terrifying in the moment. Barry Jocelyn, good morning. Cajun Country, did you get my Cesar Romero joke last night? I did not see it. My apologies. Greg Carter, morning, Matt. Do you think the Saints need to go out and get more on the offensive line? Yes. Who? Tell me who. Well, we can look at we can look at available free offensive line free agents right now. Let's look at the available free agents right now. All right, here are your available offensive line free agents. Taylor Lewan, Chase Roulier, Rodney Hudson, Justin Pugh, Gabe Jackson, Lyle Collins, Ben Jones. You don't want to center though. Roger Saffold, 34 years old. Justin Britt, 31 years old. AJ Cam, Brandon Parker. I don't know if there's anything that just jumps off the page and is bring me in. Taylor Lewan, maybe. There was that whole thing about the report that he was retired, and he had to come out and say he's not because Barstool screwed it up. But anyway. But I think you roll with Trevor Penning and you try to get him better. You invested a first-round pick. You've got to get something out of him. All right, smash that like button if you would. Please subscribe up to the channel. I've got a few more minutes. Tom Machita Thomas, good morning. Mark Vitanovich, can LSU make the college football playoff? Yeah, they went out. Which they can do. Bubba Smith, good morning. Charlie Cavell, part of the issues of play calling, no screens, quick hitters, where the ball gets out quickly. Not having Kamara hurts that tremendously. He's so good in the screen game, Mikey Boombats, first time in history, LSU Saints Tulane all one away. Okay. Jeff McKithen, good morning. Josh DeVilliers had a debate last night. Didn't look like Olave was down after the one-handed catch. I agree with you, he was not down. Christian Myers, good morning. We got to stop throwing the ball on 3rd and 2. I mean, it was one time, but it was a terrible decision, yes. Need to use 83 and 80 more. I'll tell you, Tamachita, I agree with you completely on that, especially the first 2 red zone drives where you settle for field goals. Why do you have 2 6'6", 6'7" tight ends on your roster if you're not going to use them in the reds? Like, why is Jimmy Graham here if you're not going to use him in the red zone? Makes no sense. Prayers for Nick Chubb, yeah. It's the same knee he injured in college, too. Douglas Duhan, what about Fournette? Is he available? Fournette is available. But again, the problem with that, Douglas, is do you want to bring, like, you've invested in Jamal Williams. Kendre Miller is going to get healthy and be available maybe this week. Do you want to go invest into bringing in Fournette for what it would cost as a stopgap? Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Like, would Fournette come here to play a game or two? You know, like, probably a better. There's probably better options for him out there. Mark Vitanovich, Ogeron, Michigan State. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Lowell Cormier, headed to Salt Lake for business. Okay. Safe travels. Sorry, I'm going quickly because I got to wrap up here. Where are we? Antron Hemingway, good morning. JB, every time Foster's name was called, I could feel Moscona cringing. It's even worse when the Saints media does it. It's like, you all should know better. Like, you live here. You should know better. That kid went to Jesuit and LSU. We've known that kid since he was 17 years old. Like, stop. Clarence Williams, good morning. Why aren't Saints using tight ends more? I agree with you. JB asking about Taylor Lewan. I don't know all the inner workings there in Nashville with the Titans, but, you know, sometimes contracts disputes, they move on, they get younger, but is he a better option than what you have right now? Like, you're not replacing Ryan Ramczyk, and the question is, do you want to stick with Trevor Penning to try to continue to get him to improve? Well, I mean, you used a first-round pick on him. You're not going to punt after 2 games. So, anyway, all right, y'all. I got to go. My apologies if I missed you. Do me a favor, smash that like button on YouTube. Subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Y'all have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Always shout out to Brock and Hudco. You need orthopedics, go to Brock. You need a roof, give us a shout. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. LSU Daily is already live if you want to check out the podcast on your favorite podcast app. And AFR3. Deuces.